How's it going, guys? Aura here, coming to you guys with another Pokemon TCG video, and today we're going to be going over a deck list that I found online on infinite.tcgplayer.com. I'm going to list the deck list and the article where, it's all located in the description below, so you can check it out. I am not the original creator of this deck. I believe it said on the article Mads Jensen is the original creator of this deck, but I really liked the list and I happen to have a good bit of the cards already, so I figured why not go ahead and put it together. And just to let you guys know what the deck is, it is a mix of a Iron Thorns kind of stally deck mixed with a Dragapult EX build, so you can also your whole main goal is to basically sit the Iron Thorns in the active to try and shut down as many EX abilities as possible, or rather rule box abilities as possible, and then build up a Dragapult on the bench to then pivot out to in order to, start taking KOs and such. So without further ado, we'll get right into the list. We're going to start right off with the Pokemon first. So starting off, we run, just in case anybody was wondering, I'm running the Fusion Strike Mew sleeves. I um I I just didn't have any plain purple sleeves and I really wanted purple sleeves for this deck. But starting off, we run 4 copies of Iron Thorns EX. As mentioned before, he's one of the main kind of stally bits of this deck with that ability, and shout out to the person when I did the last deck profile that corrected me down in the comments. This only affects Pokemon with rule boxes in play. So last time I said it would shut down like knocked owls and stuff like that. They don't have rule boxes, so that's not true. That was a little bit of misinformation on my part, and I apologize for that. But he's mainly here for that ability to shut down Pokemon EXs, Vs, stuff with rule boxes, all that good stuff. And Volt Cyclone, we do run a couple of electric energy in the deck in case we have to attack with him. But other than that, he's just a nice little stonewall piece for us. So we run him as a 4 of. Get those put up here in the back. Try and keep a little overview going as we go over the cards. Up next, we are going to get into our full Dragapult line. So I'm going to pull them all out in one go and go over them one by one, I guess. 4 Dreepy, pretty obvious. You need the Dreeps in order to get to the Dragapult. So we run a full playset of 4 Dreepy. We also run the full 4 Dracoloaks. The Recon Directive ability is huge. I'm assuming this is going to get seen a lot of play after rotation, just because, every deck is going to be looking for card advantage, even more than just outside of their supporters. But it lets you, once per turn, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, put the other card on the bottom, and you can do that once for each one that you have. So we run 4 to go along with our 4 Dreepy. And then to finish off the Dragapult line, we run 2 Dragapult EX. We only run the 2 just because you want to be able to keep some of these recon directives available on the bench to have some card advantage. But, I'm pretty sure anybody who's been playing standard format recently knows all about what this Dragapult does. For a fire and a psychic, you can phantom dive for 200, and it also allows you to put 6 damage counters onto one of your opponent's benched Pokemon, or onto your opponent's benched Pokemon any way you like, not just one. So you can spread out damage any way you like that way. Maybe knock out some smaller stage 1s that are there, put some damage on some higher EXs that you might not be able to immediately take out with the 200 damage. And then we only have a couple more Pokemon in the deck. We run a 1/1 line of the Toad's Cool, Toad's Cruel. Mainly here for the Slime Mold Colony ability. Cards in your opponent's discard pile cannot be put into their hand by effects of your opponent's abilities or trainer cards. So it shuts down stuff like Superior Energy Retrieval, Night Stretcher, stuff along those lines, or of certain abilities that would let them put cards from their discard pile directly into their hand. It doesn't affect it if it says that like for instance, Palkia V-Star's ability that lets you immediately attach the energy. I don't think it would affect that because it only says being able to put stuff into their hand. But we do run a 1-1 line of them. And then for the last mon, which we are going to be losing on rotation, Radiant Alakazam. Everybody pretty much knows all about Radiant Pokemon and what they do. This is one of my favorite ones because I'm a huge Alakazam fan. But once during your turn, you can move 2 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one of their Pokemon. So you can set up a little bit of, with your Dragapult here, with the damage counters that you spread about, you could move them around even more on your next turn to do more things. I'm not sure what a good replacement for this would be. I would say the Monkey Dory, but that removes stuff from your Pokemon rather than moving damage counters around. So I'm not sure how well that'll work, but this is the full Pokemon lineup for the deck. And I believe the way I have it set up, let me just grab these. And I believe next we're going into the Pokemon tools. I believe we're going into the tools next. Yeah. So we run 4 tools in the deck. We run 1 future booster energy capsule. This is mainly to pivot out, the iron thorns that you have out. Usually you're only ever going to need the 1 out. So unless it gets knocked out, this is here so you can pivot if you need to. 1 rescue board. This is in case the one of your Dracaloaks and such get caught up in the active, as well as Dragapult I just checked also has 1. So if you would like to equip it to a Dragapult to maybe switch out into a different one, you can do that as well. Excuse me a moment. Ooh, excuse me, I had a cough. And then for the last tools that we run 2 TM Evos. This is really good if you can go second and load up your board with Dreeties because you can immediately start evolving them into Dracaloaks to go ahead and next turn after you TM Evo, you will have access to usually at least 2 recon directives. Kind of up to you if you want to, how you want to do that. We do run 2, so you could also build up a easy Dragapult off of your thorns in the active, and you could also use it at any point to evolve the Toedscool that you played if you got that one out. But that will be it for all of our tools. Next, we're going into our items, which we have quite a bit of. Starting right off, we're gonna talk about the A spec for the deck. We run Precious Trolley. You get to search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench, and then shuffle your deck. Basically, you can fill up your entire bench, and if you can, you could get an amazing turn to load up with a TM Evo first turn if you manage to pull the Precious Trolley. And it's just it pretty much speaks for itself. You get to load up your bench. It's pretty annoying, especially if you do it on turn 1, because you could already get a lot of stuff established and ready to start evolving. Next, we run 4 copies of Pokegear 3.0. It's very, very helpful card. We run a lot of supporters that help us build up to our Dragapults, like Crispin and such like that. So having as much supporter fodder or supporter search is very important. And for those who don't know, Pokegear 3.0, you get to look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You can reveal a supporter card that you find there, put it into your hand, and shuffle the others back into your deck. So you can play multiple in one turn. It just, if you really need to dig for that one supporter to help you get where you need to go, it's very helpful. Next, we run 2 copies of Ultra Ball. Pretty self-explanatory. Lets you discard 2 cards from your hand to go search your deck for any Pokemon, put it into your hand. Not much I really need to explain here. It's Ultra Ball. Everybody knows what Ultra Ball does. Next, we run 2 copies of Night Stretcher. This allows you to put a Pokemon or a basic energy from your discard pile back into your hand. This is good for when and if they start taking out your Dracaloaks and stuff like that, or you've somehow gotten too many energies in the discard, or there's one key piece that you need. Maybe you have had your Dragapult EX die last turn, and you have a Dracaloak on the field, and you can just immediately get it right back and going with the Night Stretcher. And after that, we run a bunch of one-ofs. So we're going to go through them one by one. 1 copy of Lost Vacuum. This is a card that we are going to lose on rotation, but you can put another card from your hand into the Lost Zone. You can choose a tool or a stadium on the field attached to any Pokemon and put it into the Lost Zone. Very helpful to deal with stuff like the Sparking Crystals, Jamming Tower, even though we don't really run too many. I mean, the tools that we do run, it doesn't really hurt us too bad, but losing out on like TM Evo and stuff would kind of suck. I'm not sure if Jamming Tower affects that or not. But yeah, Lost Vacuum. Counter Catcher, pretty self-explanatory. You can only play it if you have more prize cards than your opponent, and you basically get a boss's order effect. You get to switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon into the active spot. Earthen Vessel. You can only play this card if you discard 1 card from your hand. You can search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Pretty self-explanatory. It's energy search. Or it's not the card energy search, but it lets you search energy. 1 Terra Orb, solely in here to search up your Dragapult EXs if you need to. You could search your deck for a Terra Pokemon, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. 1 Nest Ball, in case you have to go and grab pretty much anything. You can grab your Iron Thorns turn 1 if you need to. You can grab your Toadscool, stuff like that. And the last one of that we run for items is 1 Buddy Buddy Poffin. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less, put them onto the bench, and then shuffle. You're usually always using this to go and find your Dreepies, because you want to try and establish as much Dreepy as possible. It gives you a better chance of hitting Dragapult as well as getting Recon Directive to go off. Now, following up towards the end before the energies, we have the supporters. Starting off with our supporters, we run a 4 of Arven. Pretty self-explanatory with Arven. This lets you go and search for an item card and a tool card, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle, which is really nice if you can search up your TM Evo turn 1. You could also search up a Buddy Buddy Poffin, and then that alone guarantees 2 Dracaloaks if you go second on your first turn, which is pretty nice. But yeah, Arven's Arven. We all know what he does. We all know why he's good. Next, we run 4 Crispin. I really like Crispin. At first, when I first saw this card, I didn't think much of it, but now that I've played a lot more of him in live with a couple of other decks, I really enjoy having Crispin around. but it lets you search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards of different types, reveal them, put one into your hand, attach the other one to one of your Pokemon, and then shuffle your deck. You can basically set up a full Dragapult with just one Crispin if you don't already have an energy attached to it. If not, you could always play a Crispin, attach the one that you're missing to the Dragapult or whatever you're trying to build up to a Dragapult, as well as get an energy in your hand and attach it for turn to another one on the bench just in case. But Crispin, I feel, is going to be used a lot more in a lot of decks. Personal, slowly becoming a fan favorite card of mine right there. Next, 2 Iono. Pretty self-explanatory. We don't need too much draw support considering we are running the 4 Recon Directive. We are relying on that a little bit more than we normally would, but it's still nice to have the Iono in case your opponent's hand gets too big, or there are a couple of times when you're playing this deck where you can literally go down to one card and it happens to be the Iono. So you never know. But with Iono, for people who don't know, each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. If either player put any cards on the bottom of their deck this way, each player draws a card for each of their remaining prize cards. Depending on how far the game's going, you can get anywhere from 6 to 1 cards off of this, depending on how well you're doing or how bad you're doing. Um, but, again, it's another one of those self-explanatory cards. And then we run the 2 boss. Uh, Again, also pretty self-explanatory. You get to switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon in with their active, use it to get easy KOs, or you could knock out something that you may have been putting damage counters on in the back if it was bigger. But usually with boss, you can take two KOs in one turn, whether it be a 3 prize turn with a 1 EX and a single prize, or a lot of times you can get away with taking away 2 1 prizers. And then to finish off the supporters, we run 1 Professor Turos. This lets you put 1 Pokemon from your hand or in play into your hand, and then you discard all the cards that are attached to it. This is pretty much if like something gets stuck in the active, like you don't have a way to get your Iron Thorns out of the active, or if you have a Dragapult that's taking a lot of damage and you don't want to risk having to try and pull it with a Night Stretcher to get it back. You can always just play one of these, pick it up, it'll remove all the damage from it, though you do lose any tools, energy, and stuff like that attached to it. But it is a nice little helpful utility card. Reminds me of, shout out to the people who used to play, not back in the day, but a little bit back around when Battle Styles and stuff was out. Anybody else miss Scoop Up Net? Oh man, I played so much Rapid Strike Urshifu on the TCGO, on TCG Live. God, it was so much fun back then. But for the energy count, we run 4 Fire Energy, 4 Psychic Energy, and 3 Lightning Energy to round out the deck. But yeah, guys, this, again, like I said, this deck, I did not originally build this deck. This is a list that I found online. The link for the list is in the description below. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and a comment down below. Feel free to sub if you'd like. I'd very much appreciate that. We're slowly building our way up to 50 subscribers. I believe we're at 42 out of 50, so we're almost there. And I'm hopefully trying to plan something nice for 50 subscribers. I'm not sure what. I'm trying to plan maybe like a big opening or something like that. Who knows? But as always, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the deck with me and listen to me go through it. Make sure you check the description below to read the article that I got this deck from. It'll probably explain how the deck works a little bit better than I did. I mainly just kind of showed you what cards were in it. And also, feel free to check the channel description because there is a link for our Discord server in there. I'm trying to get more people in the Discord. I think we currently have like 3 people in there, not counting the bots. So I would love to get in there so you guys can interact more. We've had some people post some deck lists in there. We've had some chats back and forth. I've really been enjoying the small bit of interaction. So yeah, check the channel description for the Discord link. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.